So it is that time again, time to choose our next book club book. This is going to be the book that we read in the month of February, and as always I have tried to pick from as many genres as possible for these 5 choices, and also as always there will be a poll up above so that you can pick which book you would like to read. So first up we have a contemporary pick, and it is called Alice in Wonderland by Simon James Green. This is, as the name would suggest, an Alice in Wonderland retelling, but it is gender bent and it is queer. Our main character Alex gets a job at a theme park called Wonderland and falls in love with a boy there, but I understand that the boy is straight and has a girlfriend, so Alex is essentially pining for him. And I'm pretty sure we can see where this one's going to go. Next up we have The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, which I understand is kind of like fantasy romance, but all I really know about it is it's a story about a princess on the run, and the book starts off with her fleeing her own wedding, which sounds pretty interesting to me. Next up we have an epic fantasy pick, and that is The Demon King, the first book in the 7 Realms series by Cinda Williams Chimer. And like all epic fantasy stories, it's very difficult to tell what this one is actually about. It appears to be dual perspective though, following Han and Racer. Han is a thief and Racer is a princess, and they both have their own stuff going on, and they both have magic, and that sounds interesting to me. Does it sound interesting to you? Next up we have Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson, which is book 1 in the Reckoners series, which I think is kind of science fiction or possibly sci-fantasy. Either way, it follows an event called the Calamity, where humans became epics, meaning that they had magical powers, and ever since then they have oppressed humankind until the Reckoners, ordinary humans, rise up in an attempt to overthrow the epics. This is not in Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, which is why I thought this would be a good Brandon Sanderson pick to offer to you, because if you're interested in reading it you don't need to know anything about the Cosmere at all. This is not Cosmere, it is a standalone series. I think it's a trilogy, it's a quartet. So there are 4 books in the series, they're all fairly short I believe, like this one, but it's not a huge investment if you decide to vote for this one. It's not Cosmere, so you're not going to get confused by what's going on in other books because they're not related. If you don't know what Cosmere is, I've just realised I've mentioned Cosmere quite a few times there. If you don't know what Cosmere is, it is the universe that Brandon Sanderson has created for a lot of his books, but this book is not part of that universe, so it's completely separate and you don't need to have read anything Cosmere to be able to read it. And then finally we have This Time Will Be Different by Misa Sugihara, which I believe is magical realism, which is not a genre I have particularly read a lot of, so I thought it would be an interesting one to put on here. This follows a character named CJ who works in a flower shop, and the synopsis mentions something about flower magic, but I feel like it's not magic in the fantasy sense, it's magic in the magical realism sense. I don't really know, I don't read magical realism, maybe one of you can educate me, but essentially her mum decides that she's going to sell the flower shop to their sworn enemies, I suppose, and CJ's not too happy about that, so we follow that story. I don't know too much about it, but it's been on my bookshelf for quite some time, so I thought I would put this on the list. And even if it doesn't get voted for, if you do know anything about this book and whether it's magical realism, can you just let me know down below, because I'm not really sure, it's not a genre I know a whole lot about. So those are the 5 books that we have to choose from this month. There will be a little poll up there, so do please vote for the one that you would like to read, and as always if you would like to participate in the book club, please just leave me a comment down below with your Instagram handle so that I can set up the Instagram chat and include you on that. I will announce the winner in a week and I will set up the Instagram chat shortly after that, in time for the beginning of the month, and hopefully you'll want to read one of these 5 books with me. I always really enjoy our book club, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you all pick. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks. Bye.